Boom. And we're live on Periscope. Ladies and gentlemen, here we are once again. The Mindset Podcast and the Mindset Delirium live on Periscope for the first time. Well, maybe not the first time. It's been a number of times. And I'm going to be joined by somebody very special this evening. Somebody incredibly special. Somebody so special that I'm almost aroused to to bring in the guest for today's Mindset Delirium. Of course, it is Mr. Joe Dunn. Mr. Joe Dunn, hello, Joe.
How you doing, Garrett? It's good to be back, man. Good to talk to you.
It has been
doing good, dude.
It has been a
very
dude, it's been so long. It's been how long has it been since we've done a podcast or talked no, let me take that back. We have spoken. We've spoken, we've communicated over the last year or so back and forth via text and so on. But it's been I don't even know how long it's been since we've actually done a podcast or anything together. Do you know?
It's probably been about at least 2 years.
Has it really been that long?
About a year or two, maybe.
2 years.
I mean, because you've been doing so many more different podcasts. I haven't been on there.
Yeah.
And it's probably been about a year or two I can think about. I saw you posted like episode over 400 or something recently.
Wow.
Right?
Yeah, we're rapidly approaching episode 470 something. So we're going to be up to the we're going to be 500 episodes in
crazy.
In a few weeks.
I saw that. It got me thinking about
Yeah,
actually I saw that because it got me thinking about the times when I was on. We were like, oh, we got the 200 episode, all these monumental steps. Remember that? Like, we're
the
100th episode of 200, and then it's been a couple years. I think the time flies, dude. You know what I mean?
It has. It's gone by. It's gone by very, very quickly. But I know that you're wrapped up with Florida Trailblazer. Tell everyone watching, or tell the one person watching right now. tell them all about your YouTube channel and Florida Trailblazer.
Yeah, I've been doing that for several years since we started doing the podcast, man, because you inspired me a lot to do a lot of videos and just keep on my passions with that. So going out in the wilderness, exploring history, old cemeteries and ghost towns, all kinds of interesting, crazy stuff. Never know what you're going to come across. And I always felt like you got to share it and experience it with the people, So I made videos about it, and I keep doing that.
Yeah,
it's awesome, man. And the journey is incredible because each week it's something new, and you never know where it's going to lead you.
It really is your passion, because even back in the day when we were podcasting every week, you would always tell me that like every Saturday you'd hop in your car and drive out into the middle of fucking nowhere and just video the shit out of everything you see. And this has been something that's been an obsession of yours for many, many, many years.
Yeah, it has been, man, and still continue to do it. So, and it's just growing more and more. It just keeps evolving.
Tell me about, like, you told me some stories where you'd be out in the middle of nowhere and you'd walk into like the visitor center or some shit, and you'd walk just randomly just walk in, and the guy's like, "Hey, you're that guy on the sex offenders list. No, you're the guy from you're the guy from Florida Trailblazers, right?"
Yeah, I get some of that often. I'll be out and like, oh, it's that guy I see on YouTube, or it's crazy, man. They'll see me out there, and it's good to meet them. I'm glad to inspire them. I hear so many stories from people.
Yeah.
Like they see my videos, like, oh, brought back many memories from my childhood, or I found some old cemetery out in the woods, and turns out their relatives were buried there, and they didn't know about it.
Oh, wow.
Things like that, man. So it's a lot of sentimental stuff,
mm-hmm.
That you get involved with. It's cool, and you connect with the history and the people that you meet. But yeah, it's interesting. You're out there, and like, you're that guy, and then they try to like put it together. I'm like, yeah, I make I make videos and stuff like that, and it's definitely very grateful for that, man. Have that recognition.
Yeah, no, it's It's super
It's glad,
cool.
it's mainly for me, it's to reach people, inspire them, showcase our state here, all the beautiful places and the history. And
Yeah,
I
but
actually got messages this week from people. They're like,
you love it though. You love it, Joe.
"Oh yeah, yeah, I love it. Yeah,
If you didn't love it, you wouldn't be doing it, right?
every day I wake up, it's what I think about. In the morning, that's what I want to be out doing. It's crazy, dude.
Uh huh.
It's like an obsession.
You want to be out in the middle of fucking nowhere every day.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's like I just want to get out and get away from everything. I just can't describe it. And
Yeah.
I feel that peace out there. Just it's crazy. The whole world goes away, and it's just you in the wilderness. It takes you in. It's an incredible experience. And you pick up on the energies and all the different vibes out there. I
So
love it, man.
I'm gonna ask
The
you.
more you do it, the more it gets in. The more you do it, the more it pulls you in.
Yeah, no, I hear you. I'm gonna ask you though because I'm gonna put you on the spot a little bit here, and you can refuse to answer if you want. But you've collaborated with a couple of people on your videos, and some of them seem legitimately like really cool people, and some of them seem like they're like 3 seconds from being in a mental institution. So, so, so I want to ask you about that. Now, you got like what is it? Jungle Jim. Jungle Jim is one of the guys and
Jungle J, friend of
Jungle
mine.
Jungle Jungle Jim, Jungle J. Now Jungle J legitimately seems like a cool guy. He really does seem like a good guy, and when you see people on YouTube, you get the vibe like, oh, I'd get along with them, or
You're right.
this guy's a mental case. I don't want anything to do with him. Jungle J, I get the vibe that if I met him, I would get along with him.
Totally, dude.
Right? I totally get the vibe that I would get along with Jungle J.
He's really easygoing, laid back,
Right. Right.
friendly.
Absolutely. I get the vibe that I would get along with. He seems like a good guy. The other guy you did it with, the guy that won't show up on camera, he seems like he's about to murder a child or something. What's your take on that, Joe? Be honest.
Now you're putting me on the spot, right? No, he's a friend, cool guy. But yeah, there's those situations where you don't know how they're really thinking. You're friends with them, but you don't know where
let
their
me ask you
mindset.
this: whenever you hang
You don't
out,
know
with,
what their
whenever you
mindset.
hang out with that guy, in your head, do you hear the Twilight Zone theme? Be honest.
Yeah. Well, sometimes it's just more quiet, and you don't know what's going on in their mind. Like what are they thinking, or or a little bit off.
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, you're right, man. You pick up on different vibes. That's why I've kind of
No, you do.
I've
I mean,
actually
just watching your videos, you get when you collaborate with people, you get vibes from them. Like I said, like the Jungle J guy, he seems like a regular, cool, real nice guy, like a normal dude that you get
and I
along
also
with.
and with him, he's cool because and when I first met up with him, because we're going out deep into the woods. I'm going out with I only met him on YouTube initially. So a couple years ago, we met up on a trail. Let's go out into the woods.
Yeah.
So you're going out into the woods with a complete stranger, which you don't know
Yeah.
what could really happen out there.
Well,
They're nice. They're
that's
nice up
yeah.
front.
No, you bring up a really good point there. That's a good angle, right? Because your deal, when you're doing your trailblazing thing, you're literally out in the middle of nowhere, right? And you're like miles and miles away from civilization, in the forest, in the Everglades, in Florida. And you get an email from someone, oh man, I'm a big fan, you're great, I love watching your videos, can we meet up?
I
Right?
get that a lot. Yeah.
Now when you get that email, all right, you obviously, your ego is going to be a little like, oh cool, someone's watching my shit, that's awesome. Someone that your ego is going to be like positive, positive, positive. But then in the back of your mind, you're like, what if this guy's a mental case? What if he's like a lunatic, a fucking axe murderer who's 3 seconds away from, chopping me up if I meet him? How do you deal with that?
Are you reading me right now? Like
Well,
my mind?
no, I mean, yeah, no,
Because
I
this is kind
guess
of some stuff I've actually been dealing
these
with.
thoughts probably absolutely go through your head, right? When
Yeah,
you're thrilled that somebody's taking notice, that someone's watching your videos, somebody likes your shit. You're happy about that. But when they say, "Hey, man, let's meet up, let's do a collab," you're probably thinking like, how out of his mind is this guy going to be like a normal regular person, or batshit crazy fucked up in the head? You know what I mean?
yeah, and initially, so you'll see me like with Jungle J and stuff. I've only done certain collaborations with people for a certain reason,
Mm-hmm.
'cause I trust them.
Yeah.
I've gotten to know them, right? But yeah, you're right. I get messages from people when you're like, you get that feeling like, oh, great, they're watching my videos. I inspire them, and they want to hike with me, and I'm like, oh, maybe I could take them out.
Wait,
I could start
wait,
I could start
wait,
a
wait, wait, wait.
business.
What do you mean take them out?
Take them, no, take them out to the woods.
Take them out of the
You're
woods.
right.
Two go in, one comes back.
You better. I better watch my words. Yeah, take them out to the woods in the wilderness. Share with what I'm seeing.
Yeah.
I get inspired. I'm like, yeah, let's go.
Mm-hmm.
I don't respond back right away. Because and then you're right, because it does set in, and I find more and more now than ever it's doing that. Before I was more trusting. I
You
would
can't be though.
gladly, I would gladly like, yeah,
Yeah,
I'll
yeah,
email them back.
yeah. I mean,
Where do you live?
yeah, you want to think the best of people, right?
I do.
You really, seriously, it's human nature, right? You want to think the best of people, right? If someone reaches out to you, hey man, I'm a big fan, you want to immediately think like, oh, this is a cool guy, cool girl, whatever. But in the back of your mind, there's this little inkling, this little right at the back, thinking this person might be a bit mental.
Yeah,
It's got to
I
be.
do think that.
It's got to be a little nervous, especially if you agree, especially if you agree to meet them, right? If you say,
Yeah.
"Yeah, no
Oh, yeah,
problem.
that's a whole
Yeah,
nother level.
I'll meet you at 11 a.m. on Saturday."
And then you get there, and it's like it's really setting in the reality of it.
Yeah.
And
So how do you work that, Joe? If someone reaches out to you and they say, "Yeah, I want to hang out with you on next Saturday, Florida Trailblazer. I want to meet you." How do you work it where you go there to meet them, but you scope out the place maybe beforehand, so
well, I make sure I know
you have like a getaway route,
yeah, I make
just
sure
in
I know the
case.
place I'm going. That's for sure. It's not some place they picked. But I gotta make sure I recognize the area. I know where I'm going.
Yeah, yeah,
And you're right. You get there, you don't know them, and it's just a little awkward at first. And you do have that in the back of your mind. 'Cause
yeah,
what can they do? You're out there with them, and I've seen these shows recently where people go out missing, they
yeah.
never come back, and I'd like to think the best of people, like you said,
Sure, sure, of course.
but also for some reason, this feeling is creeping back into me, and it's not for nothing. I've been getting messages from people actually too, like not threatening, but just crazy trolls. You know what I mean? So then I think, are
I'm
these
sorry, man. I don't mean to laugh, but this is hilarious. I
these
need to.
trolls?
We need
I don't
to.
know if that's
Can we
actually them
can
actually trying to meet up with me.
we delve into these messages? I'm dying to hear what they're saying. This is great. Go ahead.
Well, I've gotten several, dude, from people like saying, "Hey, I got my own equipment. I'm gonna follow you around and all this crazy stuff. Like I'm gonna meet up. I can't even get into it, dude. It's not
Please,
like why.
please, no, 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 no. Please get into it. Please don't stop. I love this shit. This is the greatest.
Yeah.
Don't stop.
Sometimes you get
Tell me
these
all
people.
about it.
Sometimes you get these people that reach out and they're a little unstable, like you were talking about.
Yeah.
You can read into them. Actually, at first you think they're stable, and then you find out later. That's the hard part.
Yeah.
Is later on you think you know them,
Right. Right.
and then later on you find out, well, maybe I should have cut that person off. I hate to say that
No, don't.
because
No, it's true.
yeah, because when you start getting messages from people, and actually where it gets into your personal life, you get a little worried about that kind of stuff.
Yeah. I mean, when you have a
I'm
white
making videos in the woods, dude. I mean, what the heck,
when you have a white van parked across your house for a week, and the guy's messaging you, "I'm in the white van." That's a bit disturbing, right?
I want you to think about something too. I mean,
Yeah.
how competitive things are nowadays.
In which way? Explain.
With like YouTube and just all kinds of stuff.
That's not
Everybody.
competitive, dude. It's not competitive. There's more than enough for everyone. There's no need for competition.
Yeah.
Think of it this way. Think of it this way, right, Joe? There are people on there are channels on YouTube right now with 1 million plus subscribers, right? And I've never heard of them.
That's true. You're
I've
right. Same
I,
here. Yeah.
I have no idea that they exist. I've never heard of them, right? But they have over 1 million subscribers. And to me,
Yeah.
never heard of them.
Well, I don't get into that part of it, and I was just bringing up about how people like I'm just doing my thing, but people look at my YouTube and they're like, "Oh, I want to." They
Mm-hmm.
think of it what you're talking about. I want to get all these subs, and
Yeah,
they don't think of with the passion what you're talking about before. Like
sure.
you get up every day and you think about wanting to do something.
Yeah.
That's what it's about for me. It's not about going on YouTube and just, hey, I want to get 1 million subscribers, and that's what I'm
No,
doing
no,
every
no.
day.
No, you can't
These
go,
people I'm talking
you
about,
can't go
they
with that
see you
attitude though.
they see you succeeding though, and they think that's what you're doing, and they're like, oh, I got to do that, and I'm gonna put
Yeah.
you down.
Yeah, that,
On your
that's
share of trolls and just all
Oh
kinds of
yeah,
crazy.
dude. I've had death threats.
I know
I've had people like legitimately emailing me saying that they're gonna kill me.
it's crazy.
You know,
Yeah,
it's wonderful because when you're hated, you know that you're getting somewhere.
and I've heard that too. That's what I mean. It's been rare. It's not like I get these messages all the time, but just recently, I'm like, where's this coming from? I'm trying to trace it back. Like, did I piss someone off, or you never know who you reached or what you did. You know.
Well, the good news is, Joe, is that most people, the vast majority of people on Earth, are good.
Yeah.
Right? Not everyone, but most people are good.
Hmm.
Most people are honest, decent people, right? The vast majority of humans on Earth fall into that category where they're honest, decent, good people. But the flip side of that is the vast majority of people on Earth are also dumber than shit,
Yeah.
right? So
But when
they're not very bright. They're pretty stupid, but they're really good people.
yeah,
Now, the minority are crazy intelligent, smart, and evil fucks. So what do you
you just can't read
what do
them.
you
You
do?
can't read them
What do
sometimes.
you do?
Yeah, you can't read them. So what I do is I just move forward. I don't let it bother me, dude, and I don't get that. I don't get any crazy, you know, messages all the time. So it's
Yeah,
mostly positive.
yeah, yeah. It's Hang on, let me switch the
And let
screen
me
here.
tell you something, dude. Being out there, it's not
Mm-hmm.
about it's not about just finding some crazy history.
Look into the
It's
camera, Joe. Look into the camera. There you
yeah,
go.
it's not about just finding some crazy history or off the beaten path abandoned structure. It's just being out there and away from everything, and you
Mm-hmm.
reflect upon and you feel the positivity like you're talking about, the
Yeah,
good in
yeah, yeah.
everything. What we're here for. You really feel that out there. Like this is what it's meant to be. Um,
So
it's different. It's different.
when you're alone, when you're out there in the woods, the Everglades, the forest, and you're miles and miles away from civilization. What and you're alone. What does that do for you? How does that make you feel?
I feel a sense of fear, but also a sense of exhilaration, like a rush at the same time. Like I'm scared of like the unknown out there,
Mm-hmm.
but I also like the mystery of what's around the next bend or the trail or the wood, where I'm exploring. I just want to keep going, but it's also scary at the same time. I kind of like that. I like the balance of that.
Because
I feel it teaches you
anything could
something.
happen, right?
Huh?
Anything could happen.
Yeah, anything could happen. Yeah. That's what kind of
Here's something just popped into my head, and I want you to tell this story. Now, this happened a number of years ago. I remember you telling me this story on the Mindset podcast, where you went on a hike in you left Florida, and I forget where you went. I think you went the Appalachian Trail or somewhere. You were on some hike somewhere, and you're completely alone out in the middle of fucking nowhere. and you hear a young child crying.
I remember that. Yeah.
Tell this story. This story, you told me this story years ago, but it stuck with me
That's
because
great.
it's such a great story. Tell me this story. So what happened? You're walking along. You're on the trail, in the forest. Nobody around, out in the middle of nowhere, and you hear in the distance. You hear a young child crying. What happens?
That was interesting because I remember at first hearing like these rocks being thrown down. You know, in the mountains, and you're hiking, the trails go um, above and below. So when you're hiking, there's always a trail above you, kind of
Uh huh.
where someone's walking.
Right.
It seems like. So I remember hearing some rocks coming down from the top of me where I was hiking. I was like, "What is these rocks coming from?" Heard that at first, and then I heard some crying from a distance, like a screaming, like a helpless, like scared cry.
But it was a child, right? It was definitely a
Yeah,
child's
but
voice.
you could tell it was a child for sure, man. And I remember this was years ago when I really
Yeah,
wasn't
yeah.
as experienced hiking, you know, and got me thinking like, what's going on? And we hiked up there, and this kid was lost. Probably like a 7-year-old kid, 7 or 8 year olds out there just lost. And I guess his parents, somehow he got lost from his parents.
Yeah,
And
you're
what's
really,
crazy, if we had,
Joe. You're not selling the story, dude. You need to sell the story. If I was you, this is the way I would do it. So we're out in the middle of nowhere. There's nothing. I look around. There's just trees. Nobody. In the far distance, I hear something that sounds like, a very small, a child, a child's voice in the far distance. I'm like, am I hallucinating? What's going on here? So I decide to move towards the child's voice. Now keep in mind, there's nobody around. The place is empty. Nobody, no humans anywhere. Just trees and birds and bugs. And in the far distance, I see a small child. You got to be like that, Joe. Come on, let's go. Tell
I
me the
got,
story. What's the
I
matter
got
with
you,
you?
I got you. Well, you kind of nailed it right there. You're such a good storyteller, Gareth. Inspiring to me. I've always aspired to be a storyteller. I don't know if you know that.
I know, but this is amazing. This is such a great story because
So I was out there, and
you told me this story years ago, and it's burned into my
I
head.
was out
You
there. You're right.
you
I heard. I
find a
did.
child alone in the middle of nowhere.
In the middle of nowhere. He's out there. I heard a cry, screams in the distance. Rocks being thrown like something was trying to be noticed. A helpless cry. I could hear it. Made my way towards the site. And I could see it. I could see a child there, probably 7, 8 years old or so. Didn't know where he was at, and took him by his hand and I asked him, "How'd you get out here?" And he said, "I don't know. I lost my parents." I said, "I'm gonna get you out of here." And so we hiked back, and to the trailhead, and his parents were there, and they couldn't understand how he got lost. I couldn't understand how they let him get lost. It was a very serene moment, but it was glad to
Yeah,
get him back there, you know. But
it's
at the same time, it was a very,
it's an amazing story. It really is
I
because
mean, it's a true story, man.
yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
yeah.
But it's
But you're
terrifying.
right. It's about the story,
Oh,
telling.
it's a wonderful story. But
Yeah.
if you put
But
your
that's how I felt. I mean, it's
yeah,
the
yeah,
feeling.
yeah, for sure. If you put yourself in the shoes of the child, right?
Sometimes I don't do that. Sometimes
No,
I
but
need to.
just think about that. Can you
Yeah.
imagine how absolutely terrifying that would be?
You're right. When I was telling the story here, I was just thinking about myself, my perspective, in a way.
Yeah,
I could hear his voices or his.
it's horrific.
But when you think about his perspective, actually, I thought about that with the dog I rescued in the cave. Remember
Okay.
that?
Yeah, let's not get ahead of ourselves, Joe. So
I know I don't want to get ahead
no,
of
no,
myself.
but this guy, think about this, right? If you're a child, if you hadn't had walked along, if you hadn't heard that child, I mean, the some serious unspeakable shit could have happened, right?
Yeah.
I mean, if you hadn't have been there to rescue that kid, that might have been the end of him right there. He's gone. It's game over, right?
And at the time, I didn't think of the consequences what you're talking about. It just happened instantly.
Yeah,
You- But now that you're talking about this,
it's
you're
terrible.
right.
It's
The middle of
horrific.
the middle of the mountains out there.
Yeah, yeah,
It's easy to get turned around.
terrible.
The parents had no idea where he's at. I actually think the parents were embarrassed. I think I told you that.
Yeah,
They seemed
how
pretty,
did the parents react when you showed up with their kid?
just kind of quiet and just almost like an embarrassed kind of feeling with them. Like, oh, thank you very much. We didn't know where he went off to, and it was just really weird. You think they'd be frantic about it.
Yeah,
I almost like they'd want to leave him behind or something. I don't know. It's just
maybe that kid was a pain in the ass. They want to get rid of him.
no, I don't know. I mean,
I don't know.
I think the feeling we got was they were kind of embarrassed they lost them on the trail.
That's a
Just what
weird
would you feel
that's a
like
weird vibe though, Joe. To be like,
as a parent? What
if
would you feel like if you're out there?
if I lost my kids on a trail and somebody returned them to me, I don't think I'd be embarrassed. I think I'd be relieved and happy that they were okay.
I think they were relieved, but I just think that I felt a sense of embarrassment on their part. Like they
Yeah,
felt kind of embarrassed that they let their child get lost. But
yeah.
they did say thank
Because
you, and
they were stupid fucks, right?
that's what I mean. Yeah.
Yeah, they were
But
imbeciles.
they were appreciative. They weren't like, "Oh, okay, thank you."
Did they
But they were like,
did they
"Oh,
give you a reward of any kind?
no, no money."
No.
That's
Wait. Let me get this straight. You save their kid, and they say thanks.
yeah. And I was just an out of state person traveling there.
Fuck me. It's like, dude, I just saved your fucking kid.
Yeah.
That's worth at least 10 grand.
Hmm. Yeah, I mean it is crazy. I mean the
I
things
mean,
you come across.
how much, how you should have said to him, Joe. You said, so how much do you value your kid? Because I can take him right back to where I found him.
Yeah,
You know,
it's true.
what's his life worth to you? You know,
Or actually,
what's the kid's life worth to you? You fuck.
we were talking about crazy people and on the trails
Yeah,
and stuff.
yeah.
What if someone like me didn't run into him? Some
Oh,
crazy person.
then he's gone. He's dead.
He's dead. Yeah.
He's gone. It's game
So
over.
they might have been thinking that already. Like, oh, he's gone.
It's like that joke. I don't know if you've heard this joke, but I'll tell it if you haven't. We're in the Halloween season, so it's kind of appropriate. So I want you guys to picture this. There's a clown walking through a deserted industrial area of a town, and he's holding the hand of a 5-year-old little boy. And they're walking through this deserted industrial area of a town at 2 a.m. in the morning. And the little boy turns to the clown and he says, "I'm scared." And the clown says, "You're scared. I gotta walk back alone."
Oh.
Little disturbing there.
Yeah,
Simplest.
it is.
I mean, it's funny and it's hilarious, but it's kind of fucked up too. You know. So,
Yeah.
any other good stories, Joe? When you're out and about and you had some weird encounters? Oh, the dog. I mean, the dog is the dog story. That's your claim to fame. That made you. You made national news on that shit, right?
Yeah, I mean, not by it just happened by chance, but yeah, that dog out of the cave. But recently, I wanted to mention too, because I haven't talked to anybody about this. I've been out in the woods. I've been hearing some weird sounds.
Oh,
You know,
like what?
just when you're out there in the woods, oftentimes we get a lot of rain here in Florida.
Uh-huh.
So in the summer, a lot of these trees and the canopies will just fall, the limbs.
Yeah.
So you hear these loud crashing sounds. So when you're out there, you think, what is that? It's just a
Mhm.
loud branch falling, right? But lately, I've been hearing like these weird knocking sounds. It's crazy. It's nuts. Yeah,
That's Bigfoot, dude.
yeah.
So
It's
I guarantee you, and I'm going to bet money on this, and I guarantee you're going to tell me I'm right. Jungle Jay as all you already had this conversation with him, and he's told you it's Bigfoot. Am I wrong?
Yeah, we've had some talks.
Ah!
Yeah.
Dude, I should be a fucking TV psychic. I'm telling you. Did he tell you that shit? I guarantee it.
Yeah, we talked about it, man. Yeah. Why?
No, I'm just saying.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, he gets deep out there. Trust
but
me. Yeah,
but it's the skunk ape skunk
ape.
ape
Yeah.
in Florida, right?
Yeah.
It's not Bigfoot. It's the skunk ape.
Well, what's weird about it is you hear I've heard these something being thrown at me from a distance, like a throwing action, and it hits a tree.
Yeah.
It's not like a falling, more of a throwing.
So how do you feel about that when you're out in the middle of nowhere and suddenly it's as if someone threw a rock at you and there's nobody there? What goes through your head?
I've kind of gotten used to it the past month. Not used to it. I just kind of observe it and just try to figure out what it is. I don't get scared. I'm scared a little bit, but it's so far off in a ways where I'm like, I feel safe. It's not like right up on me.
I would be scared.
It's scary.
Think about it. If you're,
but what are you gonna do when you're out there?
There's nothing you can do. But if you're out in the middle of fucking nowhere,
I try to embrace it.
And
really.
someone throws a rock at you, or a rock just falls. I mean, that's lunacy.
Like the other day, I was out by this river and I heard almost like a sound of a tailgate, like a slamming.
Tailgate on a truck closing.
Yeah, like a slamming.
Boom.
But that's not possible because there's no way a truck or even a boat would be out there.
Yeah.
It was just bizarre. Just weird sounds like that.
So,
also too, besides the skunk ape, it could be just residual type stuff, that you hear out there.
Spirits.
All kinds. Yeah, I mean all kinds of stuff like that. Because I go to these places, all kinds of crazy stuff that's happened there.
Yeah, and I've noticed you find a lot of cemeteries and the like.
Yeah, so you never know. I'm just thinking that could be a connection to that. And the sounds could just be logical. I try to think about that too. Oh, just a branch falling.
Now you go alone.
I don't get ahead of myself.
You go alone, right? Like completely 100% alone.
I'm alone, yeah.
In the forest. Just you and your GoPro.
It's me and nature.
Well, hey.
Yeah.
No. Hey, why you got to bring nature into this? No, but seriously. So when you're completely alone like that, completely alone, out in the middle of nowhere, just you and your GoPro, that's got to be fucking nerve-wracking. It's got to be terrifying.
It is. I mean, but you just had to. It's a passion. You wake up, you want to do it, so you just go out and do it. But yeah, it's a terror. I told you before, it's a rush, but a fear at the same time.
Yeah.
Which do you choose? It's like if I choose my fear, then I'm not going to go out there.
Right.
But I want to get that feeling of that passion, and just I got to do it.
Yeah.
And also I use it as a way to look at life. If I feel a fear out there. If I can conquer my fear out there, I can conquer my fear in life. You know what I mean? Like in my regular life.
Yeah.
I look at it that way too. So I try to look at.
That's a really good way. That's a healthy way to look at it. Also,
I try to do that because
you have to
get around.
You have to kind of bypass. It's like I always keep thinking of Dune. Fear is the mind killer, right? When your fear is the disabler. Fear is the thing that cripples you from doing what you want to do, right? It's an illusion.
I saw
it's something that we all battle with. We all fear. We all fight against because we have this inbuilt fear. No, I can't do that. I don't want to do that. It's too scary. But we need to push through that in order to grow as human beings.
I kind of feel that's what I get out there. That's the only place I can get that feeling to grow is in the woods.
Yeah.
You ever? I mean, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
like,
I do.
You kind of seek that. Do you seek that feeling of wanting to do that?
Yeah.
To conquer that.
Well, not so much go out into the woods.
No, but just in general, your fear or conquer something you want to get over.
Right.
my way
Yeah.
of my other passion of the exploring and stuff.
Yeah.
It just it's an organic evolution.
No,
Things kind of,
I agree. I agree. Human
you know,
life it's very much based on fear, right?
you. I think when you're out there, you feel
Restriction.
primal. You also feel primal emotions. Um,
What do you mean by primal emotions? Tell me
like
about that.
our natural instincts as human beings. Um, I think we lose that in modern society. I think when you go out to the woods and you start to feel how you kind of can reflect on life and what life is really about. And you know what I mean? Like, what are we doing every day? We're just going, and it's like we're surviving. You know?
So do you think that what you described, the hustle and bustle, going to work, and all this stuff, is not natural? It's fake,
I
and
think it's fake.
in order to access
I didn't think that
the
before
pure
until,
essence of being human would be
yeah.
to get out there into the forest, the wilderness, and experience what it's like to be alive.
I think you can achieve that by doing that, but I also don't think you have to sacrifice your whole life and just go do that all the time to get that feeling. But
Yeah.
I think there's a certain aspect of our everyday life going to work and the hustle and bustle where we lose part of that in ourselves.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? So when you go to the woods, you kind of recapture that. Remember as a kid, you probably remember it, just being free,
Yeah.
doing what you want to do, and uh, you kind of get that feeling back.
Yeah. I
Don't
know.
you
I know
lose that
exactly
feeling
what you
as an
mean.
adult,
Kids.
like the
Kids.
responsibility?
I think kids have lost that today.
You do?
I think so. Yeah. When I look at my kids and how restricted they are and what they can and can't do compared to when I was a kid and the bullshit I got up to, it's night and day. I
Maybe
mean,
I'm living an illusion then.
maybe.
You-
I mean, when I was a kid, I remember getting on my bike in the morning. You know, like getting up at like 8:30 in the morning, hopping on my bike, and I'd be gone. My parents would have no idea where I was, right? No clue, and I'd be off on my bicycle. I'd be gone all day until it was time to come back for dinner, right? That kind of experience is unheard of today. Nobody does that,
Hmm.
you know? If you have kids and oh my god, oh no, you can't go there. Oh no, you gotta stay.
Yeah. It's unsafe. Yeah.
It's crazy, you know. It's things that the culture has changed so radically in the past 30 years. It's changed drastically.
Maybe that's a. I guess I can have a sense to recapture what I've went through
Yeah.
by doing
Hmm.
this, but kids today, younger generation, can't do that. But
You
part of
kids
what I
these
do is,
days.
yeah, kid, yeah, boy, when I was your age, I walked 10 miles to school,
Yeah.
barefoot in the
And
snow.
I would have got away with it too if it wasn't for you meddling kids, right?
The part of what,
You
and just
rat
like what you're doing,
bastards.
with our, with being creative, what we do, I feel like we're both creative people.
Yeah.
It's to inspire people,
Oh.
younger generations alike.
Cheers,
You
Joe.
know,
What do you got there?
cheers.
Cheers. What is that? Is that a is that a Florida Trailblazer
What do you
mug?
think? What do you think?
There you go. What's well the bigger question is, what's in that fucking mug?
Water. I'm just kidding.
Get out of here! Are you mental? What's in there?
I got a little bit of vodka in there tonight.
All right.
What else?
Okay. Now I'm gonna challenge you.
But I want to say thanks for the conversation about that. It's pretty cool, man.
No,
And
I got more questions and more conversation and more stuff than you can fucking imagine. But I'm gonna challenge you for a minute.
you always do.
So I really need to take a leak right now. So I'm going to challenge you, Mr. Joe Dunn, Mr. Florida fucking Trailblazer. I'm going to challenge you to talk for like a minute or two while I go and relieve myself. Can you do that?
Yeah. Do we have some people watching this right now?
We have, let's see, we have
Because I don't have a chat. You got a
we have
chat?
a grand total of one person watching.
Hey, yeah, no problem.
So keep this person entertained. I'll be right back.
Yeah, take your time, man. I'll keep them entertained. That's for sure, Mr. Flying Saucer. And Gareth is taking a break from the Mindset Studios. I appreciate you tuning in, listening to our stories here, talking about my YouTube, but there's so much more that Gareth I've gotten into over the years. Gareth has been a big inspiration, that's for sure. Always pushed me to make videos, be creative. And he may not have talked about this, but years ago, he used to go out in the streets, do investigations, take his camera, record, do all kinds of controversial stuff. It was so inspiring for me. I really enjoyed that. And I gotta tell you, we did the podcast, and it just evolved from there. So now Gareth is doing a lot of different kinds of podcasts, different shows. Wish I had a chat up here. I could chat with you. Let me see here. See. All right, I'm back. Sorry about that. Gareth and I, for about 15 minutes before we logged on here, having some trouble. There he is. Yeah, we were having some technical difficulties on my part, but the flying saucer is back. I like your shirt.
And
You have returned.
yes, here I am. I have returned. That's the thing about going live on Periscope, dude. It's like Periscope is a mixed bag because people jump around like crazy. Have you used Periscope lately, Joe?
I did years ago. I remember. Yeah. I didn't know it was still around.
Well, yeah, it was really big like 3 or 4 years ago. It's still chugging along, but it's not nearly as popular as it was. And I know that there's still a lot of people that use it, but it's very sporadic. People like jump around, like they'll go on, they'll go off, and it's very, very few and in between. It's not as professional as this broadcast that we're doing right now. Most people just are holding up their phone like, "Hey, how you doing? I'm going to the store. What's happening?" You know what I mean? It's like nonsense. We're doing a professional broadcast here, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, professional. The old days. Remember Mindset Live?
Oh.
Yeah, remember that?
Yeah. That was a lot of fun, dude. That was a lot of fun.
Was.
We did some good shows back then. What I got here? I'm drinking. I don't know if you can see this. I'm drinking. What's the thing? Modelo Negra.
Yes.
Modelo Negra.
I didn't see a label at first, but I kind of had an idea that's what you're drinking because I could see the top part of it.
So I discovered this beer by accident about like 2 years ago. I went. I mean, I don't know if I.
It's a big Mexican beer.
See.
I watched this YouTuber. He was down in Mexico, and all they drink is that beer. Nice. Should we try YouTube?
If we try YouTube, that means we're gonna have to end this stream. We'll have to end this stream and start a new one. But I'm cool with that. We can try that. You up for that?
I don't want to lose any people here listening. But
that's cool. The one person that's watching, we're going to be on YouTube fairly soon. Just search for Mindset Central on YouTube. You'll find it.
I mean, we might get some more viewers on there.
Yeah, no, I agree. You want to try YouTube?
Yeah.
All right, let's do it. Okay.
The problem is I'm on YouTube as
Periscope people, thank you so much for tuning in. If you wish to continue the stream and you want to listen to me, myself, and Joe talk craziness, shoot on over to Mindset Central on YouTube.
We'll try it.
I'll try it at least.
I don't know how it is. I mean, we usually have a good connection with the technical stuff.
Yeah, I'll figure it out. I don't know what the
hell happened tonight.
I'll figure it out. But you know the first thing we got to do, Joe? You know the first thing we got to do, Joe?
Yeah.
Change that fucking background you got.
Can you see me?
It's like
Is that live? Is that live?
Yeah, it's live. You got to change that. But anyway, okay.
talking about? That's where I live.
He lives on a cartoon robot ship, ladies and
Yeah.
gentlemen. A cartoon robot ship.
What are you talking about? This is my.
Cartoon robot ship. There you go. All right, let's end
I'm
this.
gonna change that.
Let's
You
end
told me
this.
it was a lie before. It's my
Yeah,
I feel like an idiot now,
he's
dude.
there. He's talking about fucking out in the middle of the forest. He's got a cartoon robot ship behind him.
But this is my little skate pod.
There you go, cartoon robot ship. All right, we're gonna end the stream and we'll reconvene on YouTube, ladies and gentlemen. I want to thank you all, YouTube. Farewell, good brothers.